Welcome to the Party Lines, where we look at the big issues, some political and some not so political, and address them from both sides of the aisle. Prime Minister Mark Carney says the world is facing an energy crisis, and Canada's responsibility to help meet growing global demand for our natural resources. He said that Canada can help fill that gap by accelerating major project approvals, expanding clean energy development, and supporting a new pipeline to the Pacific Coast. Take a look.
In an uncertain world, we have another commodity that partners are choosing. It's the rarest of commodities, unfortunately, these days, which is trust. Canada is a stable, reliable partner in a world that is anything but. And as our strategic value as a reliable low-carbon energy provider is unlocking markets for Canadian products and investments across the board. That's the core point. There's a huge commercial opportunity, but it unlocks much more, and that's what we're leveraging to make us more independent as a country, more resilient, and more prosperous. Our sovereignty, our sustainability, and our prosperity depend on our ability to supply and control our energy, particularly electricity. As the economy expands and grows, as AI accelerates, electricity demand in Canada is expected to double over the course of the next 25 years. So we will double our electricity generation because electrification underpins everything. Affordability, it always starts with affordability, our environment, and our economy. We start, and I'm in British Columbia, we start from a position of strength. Led by BC, we have amongst the lowest electricity costs in the world. We have amongst the most sustainable grids. We must extend that advantage.
Well, heading into that, he talks about trust, and coming out of it, he talks about being led by BC. So the middle is different than the front and the beginning, but who cares about trust? We have natural resources. It doesn't matter whether you trust us or not. We have those resources. We're there to provide. People aren't doing business with us because they trust us or want to do business with us. They do it because we're sitting on a plethora of resources.
I think the trust aspect is that we will mine the resources, we'll pull the resources out of the ground, and we'll actually make good on the energy contracts that we say that we're going to do, which I think is important. This is a very different government, and I agree with everything he said. And I think that right now, for the longest time, I'll say it on the air because I know the show's called Party Lines. I'm always happy to be here. This was a big mistake made by the previous government in terms of the LNG expansion when they said there was no business case.
Sure.
That really threw me through a loop, and I couldn't defend it. And I won't defend it because I thought it was wrong. Because I think in Canada, we understand that to get to Z, we have to go from A to Z, but we're not focused on the B to Y. What's going on in the interim in this country? We still have to heat our homes. We still have to fuel our power plants. We still have to put gas in the car. The energy transition is a good idea, but what's happening over the next 50 years to maintain our sovereignty and make sure that we're providing Canadians with affordable energy while we make the transition? I think that the Prime Minister has done very good on this. I think a lot of the projects coming to light are very, very good. I'm happy with it. What's to be unhappy?
The previous government, first of all, the LNG business case was going to happen anyways, because once you make Stephen Guilbeault the Minister of the Environment, there is no business case for anything. You've got you've got an activist as your Minister of Environment. The brakes are on. That's what the government was. We talked about separatism last show. I mean, that's part of it, right? That was a big, pardon the expression, but F you to Alberta when he was named Minister of the Environment.
Okay.
The business cases are there. And that's, I don't think we were looking at from a business decision standpoint. The government has put in an infrastructure. The government's great at announcing projects. I love this major projects office. I want to see projects. It's just the major announcements office is what this is so far. Not to say he won't happen, but today there's no traction. And if you can tell me different, I'd love to hear it.
Well, it's not SimCity. So you don't just click on an icon and go, and then the pipeline's built. There's consultation.
It's not just the pipeline.
Yeah, but you can't just build stuff. That's not how it works anymore. Right? We're not building the interstate freeway system. There's consultation, there's property rights, there's all that stuff. By the way, you should be happy. Mr. Guilbeault is resigning.
Yes.
So there you go.
I think everyone should be happy.
Perfect.
Everyone. You should be happy too.
No. I appreciate a Big Ten party, and I did like his commentary. I didn't agree with everything he said, but I love his passion for the environment. Let's just go what this means for me.
It was all environment, no business. You have to have a combination of all stakeholders. He had one stakeholder in mind.
Okay, but we have more people like that in the party, but I just want to say this very clear to the audience, okay? I think that what we're realizing is energy security is economic security.
Sure.
And economic security is a whole hell lot of a lot of national security. And I really think that needs to be at the forefront moving forward. I think the Prime Minister is working on that.
We all
the
think
Prime Minister is working on it. I think we need to let him
I don't
get
want
to
work
work
on it.
and get it done.
I want to see it working,
Not Sim City.
I
Consultation.
want to
Things
see it
have to
being worked
happen.
on. But right now, nothing's happening. When we return, we'll look at recent comments by opposition leader Pierre Poilievre over the legal rights of homeowners to protect themselves. Let's go. Recently, Pierre Poilievre raised concerns about homeowners' rights to defend themselves and their property in cases of break-ins or violent threats. He argued Canadians should have stronger legal protections when acting in self-defense inside their own homes. Take a look.
We're going to be passing a castle law, a self-defense law, that allows you to protect yourself. And that law will create a presumption that if someone enters your home illegally, that you have the right to use whatever force you deem necessary including lethal force, in order to protect your family, and it is presumed that your actions are lawful in that event. We believe that you have the right to defend your home, and if anybody thinks it's cruel or unkind, you know, it's very simple. If you don't want to be taken out by a homeowner in their living room, don't burglarize their home. Very simple.
So I actually just want to hear what you have to say on this to start, because I could go on a rant for the entire segment. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
I can't stand when he speaks, but I agree with him.
Yeah. Take the Poilievre side out of it.
Yeah.
Like,
so let's
say
pretend
it was me saying the same thing.
So if you said that to me and you said, if you don't want to get shot, don't rob my house. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting case.
So is this a partisan issue to you?
I think it's become a partisan issue because it comes from one side or the other. So if the Liberals try to pass a crime bill, they're going to oppose it automatically because it's liberal. And if the Conservatives say something, the Liberals are, and that's what I hate about our country right now. Capital H, hate.
Sure.
Because there is a concern for home safety. Now, do I think it's arming the public and here's all the guns and shoot whoever comes to your house? Absolutely not. Okay. The one thing that concerns me is the word presumption. Okay, because it is presumed it's a lawful act and somebody unlawfully entered your home. That's what scares me about this, because I don't like it. Just that's my worry. And I'll tell you what I mean about this is because how do I know that somebody is just not going to someone's home, or someone was invited in, things happened in a scuffle, like come over and we'll talk about this. Then there was a scuffle and someone shoots the guy, and then he says he illegally entered my home and whatnot.
No, that's a stretch. You see what happens? Yeah. What do we watch? And we're in the GTA area. That's where we reside.
Sure.
How often are home invasions in the GTA right now? What time are they at? They're at 3 o'clock in the morning. They're at 2 o'clock. No one's getting invited over at that time. There's no 6 o'clock in the night home invasions. There's people at 3 o'clock in the morning parking their car and people are running in their house. There's people breaking down doors. We're not talking about a misunderstanding. And the point is unlawful. I laugh because a few shows ago with Ashley, there was a reporter asking one of the provincial ministers about, unlawful. And like, how do you know someone's coming in unlawful? Like, if someone busts into my house, there's a problem. I wish we had the Doug Ford clip here because he was hilarious about it. You're going to get shot. The premier's like, you're going to get shot. You're coming in my house.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
And you know what? These people are then, because of our bail reforms, they're getting right back out the next day. It's a rinse and repeat. So, I hope what you say isn't true going forward from the standpoint of if reforms are put in place. This is something we need to do as a country. I don't believe this is a partisan issue, and I have severe problems if it becomes a red versus blue versus orange or whatever. We need to fix this in a bad way, and this wasn't a thing. And you can tie it to whatever you want. We've expanded immigration. We're letting all these people in. We're letting people in that necessarily don't follow by the same rules we do. The crime has become rampant. So there's something we have to do. But the castle law stuff of it, I don't know why that isn't why wouldn't anyone say that? And this isn't about the Wild West, everyone just pulling their guns out. We're not talking about open or the conceal and all the right walking around floor with the guns. This is about someone comes in your house, you're able to defend your house. That's bottom line.
Sure, I can identify several slippery slopes, but how about this? Buy a home security system.
That's not going to do
Buy
it.
a home security system. I'm offering.
You're putting that on the victim.
No, I'm not.
Sure
I'm
you
not
are.
putting that on. I'm
Sure
not
you
putting it
are.
on the victim.
We got to put pollards up in our driveways
What I'm
now so our
doing
cars
is,
don't get
what I'm
stolen.
saying is there are preventative measures. So if you have a heart problem, you don't wait for a heart attack to solve the problem. So how about a tax credit so you can put a home security system in your home? Because if people see cameras and flashing lights and whichever, maybe that's something. I'm not against defending your property. Believe me, I'm not. I live in a condo building with 2 security doors and 2 concierge and 4 security people. No one's coming into my house.
Got it.
Okay, I get that, but that's a preventative
A security
measure.
system when
I
someone
don't have
breaks
a
in a house in
gun.
Brampton
Yeah.
at 2 in the morning
Yeah,
is not
well,
going to help you. It's
okay,
not.
but we're arguing about something we agree on. I'm just saying I would be careful about the language that I use, like the word. It's presumed that you shooting somebody, that was a lawful
You break
act.
in my house, I want the right to shoot you.
That's no.
That's a bottom line.
So I don't know if I don't know if I'm ready for that conversation yet. But what I'm saying is that word is very dangerous.
When we return, we'll look at the ongoing debate in Ottawa over a Netflix tax. Major streamers must pay 15% of revenues to Canadian content, CRTC says. The subject was hotly debated issue in the House. Have a look.
Last week, the CRTC announced that it will be tripling the online streaming tax from 5% to 15%. And this tax will now drive up the cost that consumers pay for things like Netflix or Disney+. And just this weekend, Spotify announced that already it will take effect coming in July. They will be increasing their prices. For over 800 years, it has been parliamentary tradition that only Parliament imposes a tax. Only Parliament. Regulators like the CRTC do not have the authority to do that. So will this government speak to the CRTC and make it reverse course?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the member opposite. Let me be very clear. This is not a new tax. This is an imaginary tax, once again brought up in the House. Our government is relentlessly focused on the cost of living for Canadians. That's why we cut taxes for 22 million Canadians. This decision from the CRTC only ensures that existing rules are applied in a way that fosters fair competition. This is about protecting Canada's distinct culture and identity and ensuring the vitality of our cultural sectors. Thank you.
Defending our culture by making things more expensive is not tied together. You're not going to do that. So that end of that speech to me is fascinating. Interesting interpretations on who put the tax in. So what are your thoughts on that?
I just love how we went from defending property rights. Now we're talking about a Netflix tax. So maybe somebody will shoot someone in the house while they're watching
very
Netflix
different topics.
and paying $4 more a month.
Yeah, don't worry. We're going back to step.
That's fine. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
So, okay. Why is this a story?
Well,
Why?
it's affordability. That's why it is.
It's $24 a year.
And the fact is, well, you can say that about everything.
It's
We're just
$24
adding,
a
we're
year.
adding, we're adding.
Yeah.
And second
It's
of all,
$24 a year.
I think it is a valid point when you're talking about respecting traditions of Parliament.
Sure.
Like that you've got bureaucrats and there's, I want to dig in this further because he's defending it saying, well, they're just implementing what we said. Kind of. Yeah, that's sure. If you want to broad stroke that, you can say that with a straight face. We have a body not in Parliament imposing a tax that's going to make it more expensive. You think Spotify is eating the fee on this? You think Netflix is eating the fee on this? You're paying for it. I'm paying for it.
Sure.
And the fact he ties it back to our cultural identity, you don't make things more expensive that strengthens our identity.
It's funding to support Canadian content. That's what the whole purpose of this is. So I'm for that, protecting Canadian identity, promoting Canadian culture, and promoting our. Look at all the.
I have a feeling I'm going to be seeing the CBC pretty soon. If you want
to go talk about the CBC, I know exactly where their headquarters are. We're on a different news network. I'd like to promote this news network.
So would I.
Yeah. So my whole thing is this is to protect Canadian content, put Canadian content on the map, and protect our heritage and cultural identity.
There's other ways to do it.
But it requires funding.
You can
it
do
requires
it with
funding.
You can do it with internally taking the funds that you have and allocating them better. Because no one can tell me in sitting there at the CBC that their money is allocated correctly. We did a discussion last week about the or 2 weeks ago about the fake show that was on or whatever. It was these things are important.
What's the fake show?
Oh, there was a fake show on CBC, a prank show.
Oh yeah, okay,
no. Sorry, there's a prank show.
I'm slow today.
That apparently will never air. But I mean, I'm just saying, before you add charges, utilize the resources that you have, because we don't do that ever. We don't look at it and go, okay, here's the pie we have. Let's make it better. Do I like to strengthen Canadian content? Sure. Good Canadian content. Good, I'm going to pull out a show like Shoresy or something like that. It's had traction in the U.S. It's a good show. It doesn't matter if it's very Canadian and it's a good show. You can look at Schitt's Creek, great show, Canadian content. The prank show, we're funding that right now. How about we cut that and not raise the Netflix?
That's fine. Well, the only other way to raise funds is to just raise taxes across the board, because that's what funds these heritage things and Canadian identity.
Or spend it better.
And I don't, okay, or spend it better. But at the same time, though, this has been happening for the last 20 years. Prices go up, prices go up. This is not like a profiteering tax for Spotify. This is to protect Canadian content, promote Canadian content worldwide. I think that that's very important to protect that identity. That's why I'm not really against it. And we're really having a debate on $24. That's
no,
not that. That is not a pizza.
That's not true.
That's not a 24-slice pizza.
That's not true.
Really?
We're adding it to everything.
This is the biggest problem right now in the household.
Plus $24. I think part of it is they went around the system to do it, and we've got bureaucrats implementing a tax. That's where the crux of the matter is, and it's not making anything cheaper. We're talking about cutting. He talks about cutting taxes. You're raising fees right now. At what point can Netflix?
Everybody works,
at what
but
point
not everybody
can
has
Netflix
Spotify.
not pass that fee on and says enough of you Canada?
Everybody works, but not everybody has to have Spotify, Netflix, or Disney Plus. That's why the fees were probably increased there and not on the income tax sheet. Okay, because everybody has to pay income tax. Everybody pays it, but not everybody has those three particular streaming services. That's probably why it was done that way.
And the Trump administration is ordering green card applicants to leave the U.S. and apply from the home countries. We'll hear recent comments by J.D. Vance justifying this decision after the break. Here's a clip of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance discussing the Trump administration's recent orders for green card applicants to leave the U.S. and apply from their home countries. Show the clip.
A green card holder, even if I might like that green card holder, doesn't have an indefinite right to be in the United States of America, right? American citizens have different rights from people who have green cards, from people who have student visas. And so my attitude on this is, this is not fundamentally about free speech. And to me, yes, it's about national security, but it's also more importantly about who do we, as an American public, decide gets to join our national community? And if the Secretary of State and the President decide this person shouldn't be in America and they have no legal right to stay here, it's as simple as that.
Do you see more such deportations happening?
I think we'll certainly see some people who get deported on student visas if we determine that it's not in the best interest of the United States to have them in our country. So yeah, I don't know how high that number is going to be, but you're going to see more people.
The student visa piece really resonates with me, especially because of the north of the border conversation. We have people on student visas who just are leaving. It's a known problem that we have right now. You have people picketing saying, you've brought me over to say I can have a student visa and I've stayed. Well, your visa was a student visa. So interesting how they're going to go about it. I'd love to see how they're going to implement it. It's obviously with ICE and everything in the States, I'm sure this will just make everyone happier down there.
Who's everybody? I want to know who everybody is.
No,
their base of people that's crumbling and turning against them?
I'm saying you're going to have, well, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a good idea. You want to get in the country, come in the right way. I don't understand why that's become such a controversial issue. Come in properly. That's all there's.
But nobody's saying don't come in properly. Who's saying that? I don't know one person running for the Democratic nomination or any congressperson that I've heard say just come in willy-nilly.
Have you watched the protests against ICE? That's exactally what it is.
Because they're using a militaristic force to harass communities, and I think that that's ridiculous too.
Well, I mean,
and the thing that the reoccurring theme with the Trump administration is conflating cruelty to governing, and I don't agree with that. I think everything they're doing is wrong.
In this instance,
there's a way to do it.
He's saying you can't renew from inside. That's all this is.
Okay.
And whether you leave voluntarily or leave because you're helped, I mean, he didn't discuss that, but that's the way our system's supposed to work, and our system doesn't. North of the border, too. It does not work. If you look at the amount of people here that are still here that aren't supposed to be, we have immigration as a process. And we talked about it last episode, talking about, 15 years ago, we didn't talk about immigration. And you made reference, I believe, to 2022 and 2023 and said we got it wrong. Well, no one questions that. Well, maybe some on your side do. I don't know.
They need their head examined.
I don't know how. But we need to fix something. And I made an outrageous comment because I said, well, maybe we just stop immigration, fix it, and then because it's like having a leak and trying to fix it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Now,
stop the economy for 4 years and try and bring people back in.
No, but it's a point. It's almost like the separatism Alberta thing.
Yeah.
I'm making a point to say, hey, over here, we need to do something differently because we still got the leaks going and nothing's being fixed right now. So,
but he mentioned the words green card, which is where I took student visas. That's
Yeah,
a whole,
he
said
mingled
green
too.
card, which
Yep.
I'm really sorry, but I really have to dial it down to who they're talking about. Like family sponsorships.
Yeah.
I really think this is what this is about. I don't think this is about the merits of, well, you know, they stayed past their green card, so now you got to leave and try and come back. I think that this is their specific people that this administration has said out loud that they want removed from the country. So if you're a citizen and you say, hey, I want my parents to now come here on this green card thing,
Yeah.
well, now they're saying, well, no, we don't want that, and we want to be the ones to decide. Well,
Oh,
no.
what he's saying is you can't do that from inside. You can do it from your country, go through the proper
Yeah.
process. You can't do it from sitting in San Francisco. That's what he's saying. here.
Okay, so but that's worth a discussion. But at the end of the day, though, there is a process to getting a green card. And why can't somebody's parents come in the country that they are paying to take care of while they're going through the green card process? Why? I don't see this as an actual issue. I see this as our administration is failing. We're looking bad. We're losing our base. What can we run to? And we have to agree on this, that base is going to clamor to is the immigration file. And what is it? Well, we're going to deport people that we don't feel belong in the country. Listen to the dialogue
It was
here,
a bit
Jeff.
of a different take on this one. It wasn't about, we're deporting criminals, we're deporting. This
Yeah.
is specifically about green card related.
Yeah.
I have no problem with the fact that until you can come in, you don't come in. I
Listen
don't
to the
have
dialogue.
a problem with that.
Listen to J.D.
Because
Vance's
what if the green
dialogue.
card is rejected? You're going to leave.
yeah.
We're going to trust you to leave.
The vice president said it's the president's discretion on who he wants here. And I know the Trump administration,
I'm not even
and
tying
that's
it to
very
him.
troubling.
I'm tying it
That's
to any.
very
I think
troubling
this is good
to me.
policy for any
It's
administration.
very troubling the way that they worded it to me.
Thanks for joining us again on the Party Lines this week. Big thanks to Anthony Feor for seeing it again this week for Ashley Waters, and we'll see you next week.